Greetings, blurbs, and this right here is an Apple Macintosh Classic that is in various states of not being assembled. It's a project I've had going for about a month or so now, I guess. It's just been hanging around in the background, working on it as I feel like it or remember that it's here, get the time in the area, that kind of thing. It's a computer that I've had for years and years, and it's never worked. I mean, it turns on, like the display seemed okay, but I was never able to get it to boot beyond like some junk on the screen. It didn't make an Apple bong or anything at the startup, so no sound. So who knows what all it needed, but I knew for sure that it at least needed a recap, because inside the main board, motherboard here for the Classic, it was all electrolytic leakiness. So these had to be replaced, these had to be replaced, these right here. Thankfully the battery had not leaked. Yeah, electrolytics were all replaced, and that is thanks to an LGR viewer named Joel. He actually offered to help out with compact Mac motherboards if I had needed recapping. I'm like, yeah, this one does. Yeah, I think you saw a post on Twitter about my various projects going on. So thank you, Joel, for taking care of that. He also sent over this, or helped out with a lubing up, cleaning of a floppy drive. Hopefully that'll be nice and working now. There's a disc here as well for Lido 7 and stuff. This will be for a SCSI 2 SD, which he also sent some 3D printed like adapters, or just not adapters, really just little cradle holder things to go inside here or other Macs. I've got a few SCSI 2 SDs I want to get in different Mac projects. I have an SE, I got this, I've got a Mac something else, a bunch of compact Macs. So yeah, I don't know if this hard drive works because, again, I've never booted the system or never gotten it to boot. So, oh yeah, and I'll also replace some of the RAM that's on here. So hopefully that'll be good. I quite like the way this RAM module works. So it actually inserts on the motherboard like this, like vertically. Look at that. I think it's cool. Well, yeah, we'll put that in there. Pretty much last. It kind of slots down in here, but this motherboard slides underneath. There you go. Kind of like that. But yeah, at the moment, the first thing I think I really want to do here is just get the floppy drive and hard disk in this little cradle here, because that's going to go under the CRT like so. And we'll just put it all together and see if it all works. Hopefully it does. I don't know. Seems like it should. We'll see. Cable here for the floppy drive. Got some screws. See if I can remember what these things go to. I think these are for the case. All right, let's just go ahead and do this. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a new battery in here. I got a bunch of these hanging around for all my old Macs. So it's going to go right there. Cool. Nice cleaned and lubed floppy drive. Nice. I don't know in what state the eject mechanism is on here. Often there's a gear or little bits in there that can go bad and it just doesn't want to eject properly anymore. I left the screws on there. So yeah, nothing super in-depth here. I'm not going to be doing any deep repairs. I mean, this is blurbs, you know? I don't do anything deep over here. It's just basic stuff. If you want deep repair videos on classic Macs, look at like Adrian's Digital Basement or something. He's got some great videos on doing all kinds of things that are beyond me, man. Well, that's promising. Cool. All right. So this right here is a Quantum hard disk from 1989. It's a SCSI drive, of course. Capacity is, I do not know, but yeah, Quantum Pro Drive, 40. So I'm guessing 40 megabytes. Yeah. As far as I know, I mean, all this is pretty much original to this classic. It didn't look like it had ever been opened when I first opened it, so. If this drive does work, that would be awesome. I have seen so many old Quantum drives just die over the years. And I imagine late 80s scuzzy ones from Apple and Quantum are no different, but we'll see. Okay, so there's that whole assembly. Let me get the floppy disk cable going here. Yeah. And there's these little slots here that just sort of slides down into. Yeah. Cool. Now, annoyingly, the screws all go in underneath. A minor annoyance, but it is what it is. Compact Macs, man. They're so compact, you just gotta stick things wherever they fit. However you can access them. This last one's a little tricky because I don't have a magnetic screwdriver, but I think it'll just stick on there okay. Through there, and there we go. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna slide the motherboard in. There's like little rails underneath here that I can kind of see from my angle, but and I totally missed them. There we go. Good. Connect this big power Molex thingy here. It goes right in the center of the board. Floppy here. And hard disk right at the end here. And we got this other Molex that goes to power the hard disk itself. And yeah, little memory board is the last thing. It also slides into these rails. That's that. We should have a pretty well assembled Mac here. Before I reinstall the back of it, I'm just going to try it. Okay, let's see what happens. Hey, we got a bong. That's something. And a display coming in. Nothing else though. That hard drive is not making any noise. Okay. Yeah, I don't think the hard disk is spinning up at all. Indeed. Okay. Well, that's something. Let me double check the hard disk connections and everything, but yeah. Yeah, the only thing whirring up there is the internal fan at the bottom of the computer. The hard disk is not getting crap in terms of power. Well, that's unfortunate, but not entirely unexpected, in all honesty. I guess I'll at least test the disk drive here, although I don't have a a version of the Mac system that's newer than this really old version of, I think, 1.1. I just had this on hand because I had my Mac 128 out doing some things. But hey, thankfully the floppy drive seems to be working. This is an awful lot better than it was previously. I can say that much. But, you know, would like to get a working hard disk. Eject is doing its thing when it's motorized too, so that's good. Yeah, so, well, I guess at this point, need a hard drive, so, SCSI 2 SD will be the next thing on the agenda, which will be put in here, I guess, or the black one, whichever, I don't know, it's just a little mount. You know, I do have, like, other options for hard disks and such. In fact, let me get this one over here, because this is kind of... This might be kind of fun, actually. So yeah, there are like external solutions as well from back in the day. Like this right here is the Mac Bottom. It's a pretty popular one. And I think this one has a 20 megabyte SCSI drive inside, I think. Anyway, plugs into the external SCSI around back on compatible Macs. I haven't actually tried it yet. Maybe it'll work in here, maybe it won't. I don't know. But yeah, that's the whole idea. Is it gives a bottom to your Mac. It's made for older Macs than the classic, but, you know, compact Macs nonetheless. Have my doubts it'll work, but let's try it. It is whirring to life in some form. Hey! All right. It's working. Wow. That's a surprise. Oh dear, what is this? Mini Finder icons not installed on disk. Okay, well, just open Finder, see what we got on here. Oh my, a lot of things. Microsoft Excel, dictionaries, other stuff. Copies of empty folders. Drivers, Unix stuff. That's a thing. All right. Mac Bottom accessories and files, that's awesome. Ooh. I'm gonna back that up, that might be handy to have. This is version 5.3 of Mac Finder 1986. That's pretty awesome. Honestly, didn't know if this would work at all. It's just one of those, you know, cheapo eBay finds from, I don't know, I don't even remember the circumstances. I just got it because I'm like, Mac Bottom, haha. In fact, they were like very well aware of the silliness of the name too. I quite appreciate that. Like the 1-800 number you would call to get in touch with the company to buy one was 1-800-MAC-BUTT. M-A-C-B-U-T-T. Anyway, wow, that works. I'm pleased with that. And yeah, I mean, I guess that is pretty much it for this. I mean, I'll get the SCSI 2 SD installed some other time in one of these little mounting bracket things. That's just going to go in there and replace the existing hard disk. It's internal. We won't be using the Mac Bottom. That definitely makes more sense on another one of my Macs. Actually, one of the other things that I wanted to mention, you might be able to see it. The screen is kind of wobbly. Like the CRT itself, the display inside has got this wobbling effect. I don't know if something is just interfering with it or if there's maybe a problem with the analog logic board that is driving, you know, the CRT and the power, and who knows, there's things inside here that could make this happen from what I've read. If you have any insight on that, let me know, because I'm not entirely sure what to do to fix it. My Macintosh SE does that as well, but my 128 doesn't. Just something for me to figure out at some point in the future. Really, yeah, just that and the hard disk. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this shut down here. Oh, Mac Bottom as well. Okay, I'll just put the case back on here because I don't know exactly when I'm going to get the SCSI SD thing installed. So in the meantime, I'll just be getting it back in its case. And plus, I mean, it goes without saying, nobody wants exposed CRTs hanging around. Getting a little Mac cracker and Torx head thing here. Not necessary for these screws on the back in terms of the length, but certainly handy for the top part of the case. Unless you replace the screws, of course. But I haven't replaced anything. Oh, yeah. Those screws are the ones that are a pain, because they're like way down in there, and I got that Torx head, was it T15? Well, that fell in there perfectly, thankfully. Sweet. I honestly just love the way Mac classics look. It's got that classic Mac look, but you know, it's all rounded. Got this going on. Compared to the older, more flatter, rectangular ones. I don't know, they're all pretty attractive to me. This one still needs a little cleaning, but... and some retrobriting. That would be handy, but not today. That is literally it for this video here. So I'm going to leave it here. I will do SCSI 2SD some other day. But as for this blurb, thanks for watching.